these coilovers suck.
My side of my welds, just basically melted.
We make the strings louder.
Alright, so I welding the diff in this guy, pulling this limited slip out since it was Mr. Vibrating Pants. But so yeah, I went ahead and brake cleaned the shit out of it, blew it out with the air gun, and right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get some aluminum tape and kind of tape up all around it so that all the splatter doesn't, you know, go down in the very bottom. So I'm gonna tape the bottom, or this side, and then flip it around, and then weld this side, and then flip it around, and then weld the other side, and, you know, tape and shit and stuff. So, alright, so I got some aluminum tape and taped off this back side, because you'll see when on this side over here, when you would be welding it, basically you can see all the tape down there. So all the slag and the spatter and shit from the weld would actually go straight down in the thing, right under those gears. So I put that down there so it actually doesn't leave, it just kind of stays in this little area, and then I'll peel off the tape, and then there'll be a bunch of shit, and then I'll tape off this side, and then it should be good. So where you're going to actually want to weld is right down here in this corner. Weld those guys together, these guys together, right there, and right there. And that's pretty much it. You can kind of come up here on the housing and stuff as well. You don't really need to, as long as you basically just bind all them gears together, you're pretty good. Alright, so this is the pretty sides of my welds. Just basically melted the shit and kind of did a nice little weave into there. And damn, dude, I burnt the shit out of my leg right there with the thing. It smelled like cheeseburgers over here for a little bit. But it had the tip of that guy was still hot, and I touched my leg. But yeah, so the tape on the back works out pretty good. You can see right here, you can see all that shit. It kind of built up right there, and that stuff would have just pretty much all fell down to the bottom and gotten the gear down there, so that prevents that. So that's pretty good.
And this is the best damn root beer.
Oh.
Alright, so hopefully this thing's actually pointed in the right direction. In the last couple of videos it was kind of pointed somewhere else, but so I got the cover back on. I pretty much let it sit overnight because I went home and I didn't decide to do much more with this. I got this just 80-90 weight GL5 at O'Reilly's. It was like $4, like $4.95 or something on sale. So it calls for like 1.8 of these, and these are both like 0.946 liters. It calls for 1.8. So I figure I'll just kind of squeeze it in there, get to, oh no, and get it to about right there, and just not put the rest of it in, and it should be good. Stick the plug back in. Bam, done. So yeah, now you gotta throw that heavy bastard back in there. See how much fun that's gonna be. Fuck, that guy's heavy. Hey. Okay. Up we go. Look at this beautiful situation I got going on right here. I don't know if I showed you that, but this is the little iPhone mount that I made out of some paint sticks and some masking tape. to fit on there, because one day I was messing with it, and I had one and then I lost it. I bought one when I was actually in Japan, and then it turned out that it was it decided it wanted to run away from me or something, I guess. So I don't have it anymore. What is this shit? Oh no, I don't need to do that. I'll get that shit everywhere. That's anti-seize. You guys, that little silver shit that was on my glove, you guys could see it, but yeah, I put some anti-seize on the shit, on the threads, because I got me a new thing of lug nuts. So anyhow, what I'm doing here is rolling the fenders. I already kind of did this side, but if you look on the tire right here, you could see like a little black line, and that's where I hit bumps, and it actually, you know, like went in on itself and like tire rubbed the thing. So, you know, Jesse had this fender roller, so I borrowed that from him. So you gotta put your little lug deal on there, and so I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing bolted on. So yeah, up we go. So anyhow, what I'm going to do is just kind of put it right somewhere in here. Kind of put this thing so it's actually like kind of pointing like up-ish, so it'll kind of, you know, because you don't want to just like push it this way, because then it'll actually push the quarter panel out. So what you need to do is, since it has that lip in there, it's kind of like 90 degree, you got to kind of hit it with a 45 and actually get it kind of fold up, and then once you get it folded up, then you could like push it this way, so it actually, you get rid of that little, that's probably about 3/4 of an inch lip right there. So kind of go slow at first, and you just kind of use this to adjust it and push it forward and backward. Okay, I'll actually get it going the right way this time. And I just kind of go slow. I'm not a professional fender roller by any means, but this is kind of my theory. I've actually only used this thing like once before, and that was on that RB car. You could kind of hear it kind of pushing shit, like I said. So you need to kind of get that 45. See, I don't know if you could see that, but it's kind of going up at a 45 right there in the center. Make sure I'm going the right way with this guy. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this off, or push it back out. Then I'm going to put the angle, so it's kind of in the push out stage, extend it up a little bit, so it's actually in the right stage. So it actually, now we're basically folding it kind of back onto itself now. I'm not going super aggressive with it, just kind of trying to, you know, give it a couple rolls back and forth, and as I go around, just to kind of get it to see, now it's going up in there. Bring this back down a little bit. Okay. And yeah, that's pretty much where I'm going to leave them. This one kind of flared out just a tad. That one kind of flared out just a tad too. So they both look pretty good. Both look even. Got plenty of clearance in here now, so I don't have that big lip basically right there. Yank this guy back off. Install my new lug nuts. I just wanted to show you guys how these coilovers actually feel. And they feel pretty shitty. You can hear that, and if you can see the amount that it's actually bouncing, this is kind of one of the roads we have around here. But the whole ass, it kind of started pogo sticking there for a minute. And I mean, it absolutely just feels like dog shit just driving this thing around. You know, can't imagine how it looks, you know, just bouncing around like it is. Driving over to Jesse's house right now. I'm gonna yank the mass airflow sensor and maybe the ECU out of his car and test it out in here and see if that'll get rid of my going super rich issue. You know, when you hit boost. When you first get in here, before it gets, I think when it's like in closed loop or something. You know, when you first accelerate, when it's cold, it's like where the AFRs are supposed to be. Watch, I'll show you right now. It shouldn't go to 10.0, it should go to maybe like 12, and then maybe slowly creep to like 11, maybe at the very top at like, you know, 10-ish, but not just 10.0, because when it goes to 10.0, that means it's so rich that you can't even, it's not even reading anymore, it's just so rich. It just 10.0 is the richest it'll read, so it's probably, see, look at that, and that's really light load. That's light throttle input with barely hitting any boost, and it goes that rich. So I'm gonna get over to his house and test it out, test out that stuff, and hopefully that'll fix it. All right, so we got this the other ECU. There's that one. There's my old one. We're gonna go for a quick little test drive. See what it does.
Still doing it.
We'll just use a big ass 1/2 inch for no reason. I'm pretty sure that'll go around it. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just cooling system. I mean, it's still kind of warm, but it's not crazy. So hook this up here. Basically pull just a little vacuum on it. So it doesn't just pee everywhere, which it probably still will. Try to get it in and out as fast as I can. Go ahead. Am I like not in the right hole, or? Okay, there we are. There we go. So that didn't really lose much coolant. There we go. Yank that guy back off. So yeah, whether this one was bad or not, I don't know. But $22 later, I have me a new coolant temp sensor in there. I don't want to over torque that guy. So yeah, maybe this will help, because this kind of affects the table, you know, of the fueling table, you know, based on the heat, which is, it's kind of weird, because I went and I drove it earlier when it was cold, you know, and I got into boost before it was actually warm, and the AFRs were fine in boost. You know, they were like 12s and, you know, 12s and shit, and kind of where they should be with that amount of load. You know, wide open throttle should be like 11.5-ish. You know, in boost or whatever. Cruising, barely getting into boost, like say you're on the highway in like 5th and you hit like a pound of boost going up like a hill, you know, at like 5% throttle, it should be, you know, for like 13, you know, barely anything like that because there's no load on it, so it doesn't need a shitload of fuel for that amount of boost, you know. But so yeah, that wasn't too bad. So maybe, well, I'm gonna ground the ECU with a set of alligator clamps, and then I might ground the chassis again too, because you know it might not have that great of a ground. So I'm gonna run a ghetto little ground. Now I did like 5 different things. The only other thing I'm thinking, so mass airflow sensor's good. I mean, it runs smooth. I changed the plugs. Coil packs seem alright. Is this situation right here? That's what I'm assuming could be a situation, is the wiring for this and the actual oxygen sensor and stuff. So if I go, well, that it shouldn't make a difference in when you go full boost. So yeah, we'll go for a rip. Going on a little drive. Let's see, second gear. Well, that's shitty. Still the same thing. Alright, so you guys aren't gonna believe this. So I took out the temperature sensor, like I said earlier, when I was driving it. When it was cold, the AFRs and boost were just fine. And so I pulled out the sensor, put it in cold water, and zip tied the old sensor up to just a hose and plugged it in. So it's basically cold. It's not seeing actual coolant temp on it. So maybe it's seeing 80 degrees right now, but watch, check this out. We'll go into third. And that's like 10.9 in full boost, which were like 12 pounds of boost on a bigger turbo, you know, and that's perfect. That's great, you know, because it's not 10.0, because 10.0 means it's richer than 10.0, whereas this 10.9 is 10.9. That's good. It's fast as shit. And you know, when the sensor is actually colder, right now, you know, it's kind of behind the radiator fan, so it's blowing hot air on it and shit. But before, I mean, it was 10.0 all the time. Now, like, look at this. You creep into boost. Look at that. 13.3. Perfect. You know, it just pulls so much better. It just feels so much smoother, you know? And then watch, like, second gear, you almost put it in the cabbage. Whee! Yeah, third gear, it's like it wants to put you right in the shit, you know, because these damn stupid ass coilovers are just fucking, you know, hobbling like a bitch. But yeah, isn't that crazy? Like literally, second gear, it just doesn't want to have traction. Watch. Yeah, the whole ass end just gets like real shitty. But isn't that crazy though? That just zip tying the thing. So I'm not sure exactly what is causing it to do that. You know, to me, I mean, look at this. That's how it's supposed to be. Get your ass gas mileage. It has torque. It has power. It spools the turbo. That's how a damn 1J should be. Man, these coilovers suck. I still can't get over that. But yeah, like look at that. You can cruise a little bit. It doesn't get all rich and shitty. Holy shit! I don't know what the fuck is up with these stupid coilovers. And the alignment in the back. I mean, it just seriously feels like it just wants to like throw you into the ditch, you know. But hey, look at it. I mean, the whole ass end shakes like shit, but puts it in a different table when it's cold. So that's exactly why it runs better when I have it like that. Look right there. I think you guys could see that. Come on. Yeah. So there the temp sensor is right there. It fucking rips. Well, I'm excited about that though, because holy shit, I was pissed. I was like, man, I have a slow ass 1J. You know, here I am over here, Mr. after all the LS shit, and it was running like dookie. It was making me sad. But yeah, now I'm pumped. Yeah, you could smell them beautiful brakes. You know, them like probably haven't been raped in 10 years brakes. Just it's been sitting forever. First little break-in, I guess. But yeah, I definitely need to figure out the coilover situation. Holy shit. Well, I don't know what the hell just happened, but I'll have to check this out.
Listen to this turbo now.
So yeah, sounds like the well, that's shitty. Sounds like the turbo's taking a shit. I guess that that Mamba turbo couldn't handle the right AFRs or something. I don't know. So I'm gonna pull the housing on that and see how shitty it is. See if it has a bunch of shaft play, which it sounds like it does. So might be sending that thing back. I wasn't the one who buy it, but maybe the guy before me has the receipt. So 5 minutes later, it's confirmed. You can see, hopefully you can see right here. Quit burning myself. So it has a bunch of in and out. Not a whole bunch of side to side, but definitely some in and out. So that's shitty. It isn't blowing any oil in the thing, so seals are still good, but obviously it's eating something in the exhaust housing. So guess I'm gonna have to yank it off and throw the factory one back on it, which sucks because that's that upgraded Mamba turbo. So yep, that sucks. Alright, so I'm up underneath it right now. Got up on the lift. Got these bolts holding that off, and then I loosened that guy. Because it's basically the drain and the feed in one, so it feeds up through the bottom and then drains through the bottom. And so yeah, I just had to loosen that, and I'm just basically taking the center section out. Where the hell is it at? No, this. So when I got the car, the guy, so initially one of my buddies had it, and then it had it in his drift car, just basically got it wired up, and then went for a quick little rip, and then it like shot basically the exhaust wheel. It came out in the exhaust, and so anyhow, he got fed up with it and was like, oh, screw this, I'm getting rid of it, and sold it to another guy. He bought a replacement turbo, and then he's like, at the same time, he's like, oh well shit, I might as well just upgrade the turbo. So that's when he got the Mamba turbo, and so then I got it. It had never been ran, and here we are today, swapping it out within probably like maybe 50 miles. Yeah, it sucks to be doing this thing, because I mean it really felt like it ripped. I mean, I only really got a little bit of time on it. Especially, I mean, basically the rips that I just did with it, that was the only amount of rips that I got with it. Just because it was running like shit before, it was running super rich, so it wasn't actually using the air properly, so it was just basically overfueling the shit out of itself. And so yeah, I got the center section loose, but the little clamp isn't wanting to cooperate. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have to actually go up, or if it's just the heat shield that's like causing it to not want to let go. Yeah, come on now. Come on, bud. Okay. There we are. yeah, I mean, that just doesn't sound good, you know. So yeah, everything seems alright with this one. I mean, it spins. Doesn't really have, you know, the style of in and out that other did. It has a little bit, but it's definitely not the same. Done. Time to stuff it in. Hopefully it's not dicked. If it is, I'm going to be upset. Has a little index pin right there. Damn you. I don't know what it's doing. Alright, gonna run out of battery, but so yeah, so you can see I had to change pretty much everything. The housing on this right here, this is kind of this pipe that was already cut and welded and kind of meant for this setup, because like, you know, you guys seen this thing when I got it. It was already kind of halfway, you know, halfway done. But so yeah, I had to put the factory like J pipe in. It's nice to have another 1J around, because you can just pretty much rob everything off of it. So robbed that off of that. I robbed this pipe off of it a long time ago, but basically hooked everything back up. Had to do a little bit different for the intake, but should be good now. But right here, so see these holes right here on the top. That's exactly where this one went. You know, it went like that. You know, and kind of bam. You know, sucked in shit. Well, the factory one is actually right there. So that's shitty. So I had to basically put this pipe on, and I could have cut it off and probably did a bunch of stuff, but this was the easiest. Yeah, so that's pretty much where that's at. It's gonna be kind of hard to see, but I have these subframe collars right here, just a random eBay set, and this is basically a temporary solution to a long-term problem. Well, what's happening here? I wish I had my stupid light. Damn you. Okay. Here we go. So, see right here, you can kind of see the little crack in that thing, which that doesn't necessarily mean they're bad. But subframe bushings and S13s and 14s go bad really, really fast. And when they do, the whole ass in chatters. You can kind of see right... I thought I was filming with my phone. Right there, there's like a little bit of chatter, and you can kind of see up there where the bushing's been like rubbing, and that's probably most recently just with these last couple rips I've been doing. So basically what you do is you take this, you know, it has this nice slot in it, and you slide it on top up there. So I went ahead, I loosened the bottom, and then you just slide that guy up top. I keep acting like I'm filming with my phone, and I'm not. So yeah, that's pretty much what they look like, as long as you guys could see that up there. Take you guys up there. So that's kind of what they're supposed to look like. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten them down. But yeah, hopefully this subframe. Here, watch. I'll wiggle it with the pry bar, because that's kind of how you could tell if I I just had that son of a bitch too. There it is. So yeah, see how it doesn't wiggle? Normally if you wiggled it right there, the whole thing would just kind of jiggle up and down. But yeah, so that's temporary solution. But yeah, the solid subframe bushings, I actually have a how-to video on that, so if you guys are curious, I'm doing that when I did them on my S14, and that was a bitch. So first drive with the new turbo and the subframe bushings. Well, it's still fast as shit. And it seems like it spools a lot better too. The other one kind of had like this like weird like little like mid-section that it would kind of do. You know, like right from the very bottom, it like didn't almost, it wasn't like it wanted to spool. Yeah, now it wants to pull them off in third still. So that's good with me. It seems like it's peaking to about 15 pounds. I put these washers in between the wastegate because a lot of times with the factory turbo it creates too much back pressure and it blows open the wastegate too soon. So I put those in there. Maybe I might take one of the washers out just so it doesn't peak like that. But it seems like it's about 10 pounds, but shit, it's fast as shit. Well, shit, I can't really tell you guys what happened or how it started, but it did. I was looking at this, you know, the stupid fuse box in there, and this wiring right here was pretty much running really tight, kind of up underneath this whole little segment right there, and you know, with the kind of sharp cuts and stuff that are there now, I was like, oh, that's probably not a good idea. And so then I was like, well, you know, maybe I'll just take it out and maybe I'll relocate it in the car, or I'll shorten it up or something like that. And so started doing that, and then it kind of escalated to this, and started looking at it. Basically, there's kind of like a back section right here. You can see this. This plug right here goes to the very back. That's the gray plug. The white plug is actually for that harness right there in the front that goes to the engine bay that basically tells it, I believe, everything else what to do. There's some other harnesses that plug in here, like the big ones, and that basically gives the rest of the car power, distributes it through there. So that's I guess that's kind of what I'm going to be working on now, is just yanking everything out. I just had a bunch of random wiring in here, a bunch of random stuff. The more I kept looking at it, the more random stupid boxes. And I mean, look at all this wiring. Like literally, like I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, all right, so the only thing I really need is the windshield washers, or the windshield wipers on like one speed, the turn signals, brake lights, headlights, taillights, and power windows. And then basically running the engine, but I do the engines kind of on their own standalone type of deal. So yeah, that's kind of what happened. So yeah, there's more shit. And there's still this harness that goes to the very back I'm going to yank out. But yeah, that's pretty much that. I'm going to try to simplify everything, just keep everything as simple as I can. I mean, I'm kind of complicating it by having to yank all this crap out, but you know, like look at all this random bits of wiring just kind of everywhere scattered, you know. This right here is on the ground. I mean, I'm assuming I would have had a short sometime in the near future, and there's still a bunch of stuff I actually haven't taken out of here, like this stupid. There's like an amplifier box for the factory speakers, and you know, dumb shit like that. So really, I mean, I'm gonna leave this little harness right here, this little harness right here going to the taillights. That's about it, I think. So, oh, and the fuel pump. I'll have to run the wires for the fuel tank sensor, whatever, see if I can get that to work, take this nitrous bottle shit out, and that'll be about it, I think. Alright, so that pretty much wraps up what I did kind of halfway this week. In here you can see I got a little bit more carried away. I went ahead and I took out my seats and took out the rest of the wiring that goes all the way back up to the back. There was took out the heater box as well. What I'm going to do next week, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this seam sealer right here and actually kind of stitch weld, a few of these seams and stuff. I'm not going to go super crazy with it. And then what I'm going to do is get a few, little pieces of metal similar to that, kind of come up right here and just do a quick little gusset with it. A couple of my buddies in a town away, they have shops and they have dimple dies and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the plates and then take them up there, have them dimple dyed, do a nice little one, little tiny one that goes up here, just cause, so it'll look pretty. And then pull out this fake windshield I made. Go ahead and get the I'm going to paint the interior of the cage. Let me know what you guys think, what color I should paint it. I was thinking either white or kind of like a gray, kind of like a battleship gray. One thing I don't like is now that, what I don't like is all this wiring, and I don't like this, these holes in the door panels and stuff like that. It just kind of looks crappy. I really wish there was something I could do about that, whether it be, cut this all out and put something else in there, but, having power windows and stuff, it kind of needs that whole structure to survive. So it'd be cool if I could get like a piece of plastic or something to go over that and actually kind of make it look a little bit more presentable and kind of race car-y, other than just kind of gutted interior car. So I don't really like that whole situation, but yeah, I'm pretty excited to actually be finally doing this. A long time ago, I've always wanted to paint the inside here. I've just been kind of lazy and never actually took the time to do it. So I'm finally doing it. Here in the back, you can see I still got my nitrous bottle. There was this Clarion, where'd it go? Oh, this right here. There was this thing I still had in there from the radio and a bunch of brackets. This is that other wiring that I pulled out that goes all the way to the back. So pretty much I'm just going to get rid of absolutely all of that. You can see up it here in the front. I mean, it already looks a lot better. I don't have the radiator or anything in there now, but you can see this whole situation right here just looks better. There's not a bunch of wiring going up here, as well as there's not that big chunk of wire that sits right here, which if I were to ever get in a wreck or do anything like that, this front end, it kind of moves around. I don't actually have it bolted, because when I got the car, it was actually in a front end collision, but it came with all the body panels and all that stuff, all the fiberglass stuff. So I had this bolted, but the bolt fell out. So I'm going to weld like a washer on here, and then put a nut on the back side, and actually so it'll actually pull it back, hold it tight, and bolt it, so I don't have to weld that. So if I ever decide to pull off the whole front end, I can. The whole radiator support or whatever, and I don't have to dick it, and grind off a bunch of welds. But yeah, you can see that big hole that wiring harness leaves. I'm going to be using hood pins. So I honestly did think about taking off this whole front end, but I don't have a tube bender or anything like that right now to actually make more so of like a tube front end. But basically, really the only thing I need up here is these bolts to hold the fender on, and this right here, which that would be super simple to make, and then just mount the intercooler. But for now, so this thing, it's kind of interesting. I got rid of the factory fuse box, but I'm putting the actual ECU in the engine bay. I thought it'd be really cool if I could extend this harness a little bit and get it to go in there, and then I just have a really clean, stock thing. But I figure, on account of that thing right there, I probably won't be be using the stock stock ECU for too long, so that'll be kind of a temporary deal. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get an actual windshield back in it, paint the interior, and then figure out what I'm gonna do with my paint scheme. So I was gonna kind of refresh it for the deal. Like I said, the first event that I'm technically supposed to be going to is March 13th, which is the Drift, Colorado. If you guys are actually, make sure you're still on. If you guys are actually still in, or if you're in Colorado or whatever, if you want to come check it out, I'll be at the event, and if you come in and say what up to me, I'll be sure to try to give you a ride along or something, as long as there's not too many people. But yeah, so let me know what color you think I should paint the outside, and kind of go from there. This week I've been doing a lot of filming with this little action cam. I was gonna whip it out when I was in here, but then kind of decided against it. Oh, and I'm gonna probably order that other shifter too, and I'll be sure to show you guys that. And it actually puts the shifter like right here, instead of like way back here, which would be really shitty. So, but yeah, I did order. Well, I didn't order anything. I was getting ready to wire the 2J, and I just started pulling out this harness, and then it just kind of turned into this whole mess. But it needed to happen. For the past, I don't know, maybe like 2 years or so, about the past years, when I've really been kind of unhappy with where like the interior of my car, and just a few little things that I wanted to do differently. It had this giant, I mean, look at all that wiring. That's probably 30 pounds or more of wiring. Which, I mean, it doesn't matter too much. It's a big, 700-800 pound 2J up front, but, or I don't know if it's that much, but I think they're like 5. But yeah, that's pretty much, been unsatisfied with it, and I've been wanting to do it, but I've never actually taken the time to pull everything apart, take the dash out, and paint the interior properly, and do these little gussets and stuff like that. But since I don't have ain't gonna have the windshield in there, that'll be perfect time. Another thing is I want to get rid of, I'm not gonna have the heater box. I'm gonna have the heater box, but I'm gonna have a little fan going to it just so it goes on defrost. Eventually, when I go single turbo, it'll be easier to add the heater lines in there. But I want to change something with this whole section right here, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that. So I'm going to figure out, kind of custom gauges over here, like maybe a speedo, maybe a tack, and stuff up there, and then do some other stuff right here. The company that the ECU that I was maybe going to try and get, they have an option to go with like a tablet. And so I thought it'd be really cool to do like something with a fiberglass deal right here, put like a tablet, and then have like this, switch panel in there, and that'll kind of control some of the random stuff. And then I'll be doing the, still have the ignition with the key and stuff like that. So I could look it up, but pretty much I think I'm gonna be making my own wiring harness for this car. But we'll see with that. I was thinking about doing one of the easy wires, like I did on the Datsun. Let me know what you think about my shelf too. I was seeing how high I could actually get it. There's a box underneath that, so it's not just a bunch of random crap on here. And for everybody who gets super sad about the Datsun being kind of my shelf, I painted this car when I was, I think, 16. This is technically the second car I painted. I just did a single stage on a previous car, but so yeah, I'm not happy with the paint on it. Well, it's okay, but I need to redo some stuff on it, and I've never cut and buffed it or anything, so it needs resprayed eventually, and I eventually want to go do some crazy stuff with it. So for now, it's that's why it gets overspray on it, and I don't really care because I'm going to redo it eventually. You know how that goes. But here's the piece of metal I was gonna cut everything out of. But the 1J, it sucks that did I show you guys the? Yeah, I think I showed you guys that thing. If not, I'll include one. It sucks that the turbo blew on it, that big one, and I had to replace it with the stock one. But it honestly feels a lot faster. Still got this weird vibrating thing, when you get on it super hard, it feels like the whole ass end has like a jackhammer back there. But I'm assuming that's either subframe bushings and the shitty coilovers. But yeah, definitely sucks that that all that happened. But I'm rambling on again. But yeah, the stupid turbo. But yeah, so that's about it. So until next Monday, I guess that's it.